in moments when this movement couldn't dig up like another reason to attack us, they would just kind of move on to other groups who they perceived to be like us, all while doing the work of erasing all of those people's and our actual jobs and interest and papering over it with kind of that rallying cry of far-right supremacy, DEI. And as ridiculous and stupid as it all was, I actually was not prepared for the escalation of it when noted buffoon and Twitter CEO Elon Musk decided that he would chime in with his very cool thoughts. Yeah.
Sweet Baby Inc., the woke police that is currently running through the game industry at a rampant rate, is killing off the gaming industry. Watch to the end of the video to fully understand the implications of what Sweet Baby Inc. is doing using censorship in the name of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Today's video comes from Vara Dark. Her channel will be linked in the description, so you can go check her out and support her. And now let's just go ahead and jump right in the video.
Bandai Namco specifically bought Reflector Studios for Unknown 9 Awakening, and so far the game is a complete and utter disaster. Most of the reviews that are being left actually are from people who received the product for free. The lead actress is going into interviews talking about how she simply thinks the game is diverse and she really doesn't understand the story, and the player numbers are completely abysmal. Now, every single game that Sweet Baby Inc. touches is surrounded in some kind of controversy or is an epic failure. They have not had really a lot of positive games under their belt besides Spider-Man 2 and God of War Ragnarok, but even those did face controversy, and now the next game on the block is Unknown 9 Awakening, and it is a disaster. I did end up starting the game on live stream, and it was terrible. It was buggy, it was glitchy, the gameplay is extremely repetitive, the areas are super linear, and the game really just isn't fun when you hear the cringeworthy, woman-empowered dialogue and the very generic, I'm looking for my teacher's story. It's just not a good experience in totality, but I still want to give it a try. It's only fair because I've talked about it, though it doesn't seem that many other people are actually giving this title a try because it is doing terrible. So on release day, the best numbers that they could muster were 169 people over on Steam, and surprisingly, it's gotten a little bit better if you consider 245 to be significantly better. This is all that they can get, and I'm sure over the weekend it might go up a tiny bit, but it's clear as day that this is not going to be some massive success, and this game is technically specified as a AAA experience. We do not know the budget, but we do know Bandai Namco went out of their way to buy Reflector Studios specifically for this game. It's rumored that they spent like $50 million on the studio and that this game had like $100 million budget. That is not confirmed though, and judging by what I played, I have no idea where that money would have went if that is actually the truth. But 245 people is extremely terrible. I mean, we've seen a lot of Sweet Baby failures on this channel that I've talked about, and this certainly is one of the worst. I mean, it also only has 2,160 viewers right now over on Twitch. And hey, in my live stream, when you actually had the 169 people in game, I had nearly 900 people watching, which in my opinion is fantastic. That's primarily why I play these awful games on the channel, so you guys can see them but not spend your money. If I am buying one game for, in this case, $50, and 900 of you have decided not to purchase the title, that is costing this company thousands upon thousands of dollars, and that, in my opinion, is a fantastic experience. I want to cost them money if their game is extremely bad, and then you get to watch the live stream, your curiosity is satiated, and you also get to save a bit of money. But not only are the player numbers terrible, but funny enough, there's only 17 reviews right now, sitting at mostly negative. But if you really start paying attention, most of them received the product for free. So we're not even talking about people who, first of all, went out of their way to purchase this. I highly doubt this game is even getting a lot of purchases besides the few hundred that we know or confirmed, at least on Steam. It is on other platforms, don't get me wrong. Maybe on Xbox it's doing amazing, or PlayStation it's doing amazing. I don't think so, though. Typically the numbers are pretty close. But even though they received this product for free, they are saying that they regret it because it's terrible. I mean, they're also saying things like, don't waste your money. And I completely agree. I mean, there are some clips on my socials where I'm playing it. I also, of course, had live streamed it. That live stream is up on the channel. But here are just a few snippets of some of the major problems. Like right here, as you can see, I'm standing at this character's side, at this AI's side, and he shoots me, even though I'm right next to him. I'm not in front of him. His gun is pointing in a completely different direction. You can also see how the NPCs are glitching through all of the architecture that's around. There's one area where there are tons of characters, which you would think, oh, hey, wow, that's cool. Maybe this area feels a bit more alive than the others. But they literally copy and pasted some of the mobs 10 times. I counted one that was 11 times. It's just so disappointing and honestly pathetic to see, because this is a title that you really expected people to purchase, but you thought that you could hand us trash, which is so insulting. And unfortunately, there are so many developers within the industry right now who hate us, who have no general respect for us. And
So Vara makes some excellent points, and one of the most important points is the fact that these people absolutely do not like us. We are dealing with people who 100% hate us. They do not like us. They have flat out said that they think gamers are the worst. They think gamers should not exist. They wish for our control alt deletion. These are not people who play games either. They're absolutely not people who play games. These are the woke mafia, okay? And then they live in these bubbles of toxic positivity where no one else can disagree with them. Because if you dare to disagree with them, then you're going to be in a world of hurt and pain and suffering. This is who these people are. And they are never going to stop. They're going to continue putting this false narrative out there, claiming that they are victims and, they're trying to fight the power. And it's basically toxic people in society that are trying to push back against them. One of the most ridiculous things that I cannot stand, and Vara Dark is one of the few people who talk about it, is the continuous attacks upon Caucasian people, pushing them out of games, saying that these spaces need better representation and to be more diverse. To be very clear, the Indian actress, she's half Indian, she's half white, and she's the character, the lead actress in this terrible flop of a game known as Unknown 9 Awakening. They make her darker, okay? She has lighter skin. She has whiter skin. Her mother is English. Her father is Indian, and she is an English actress. I think she's absolutely gorgeous, but they completely change her, and I would argue that what they've done is the equivalent of blackface, because she is not a dark-skinned Indian woman. She is a half-white woman. She looks predominantly white. You can tell she has an exotic look to her. But to present her as a ethnically Indian woman and then mess with her features so that it does not even reflect who she looks like, they basically stripped away a lot of her attractive features to make her more acceptable to a modern audience, and then painted her brown, which is absolutely ridiculous. There is no difference in taking a white person and painting them brown, and when you compare what they have done here versus this young lady. She is a mixed raced woman who looks white. Okay? So to say, well, oh, she looks white, but, technically speaking, she's of Indian descent. Half of her DNA is Indian, so we can just go ahead and get away with putting the equivalent of blackface on her is an utter joke. And this is Sweet Baby Inc. This is their legacy. This is their policy. It is no wonder that so many games are flopping right now. And the response by the gaming industry, the response by people like, companies like Sony, who just had a major flop with Concord. The game cost $400 million to develop, and it will ultimately end up losing somewhere between $600 and $700 million from what we have heard. It's just like with movies where you have to make a certain amount if you are even going to break even. They've lost $400 million developing this game and marketing this game. And it appears that they're actually trying to bring the game back as a free to play because they've invested so much money in it already. Trying to write it off as a tax write off only works when you've made such a substantial amount of money that you can now write it off. Sony is losing loads of money. These companies are losing so much money right now that they're writing off a ton of stuff and it doesn't matter. And you can only carry over just so much to the following year. It is a sad and pathetic outright reality what is happening here, but I don't feel for bad for these companies. Honestly, I want these companies to go away. You know, they disrespect the audience that have helped to build them, that have helped to make them who they are today, and for them to come with this absolute garbage is gross. I see things like Dragon Age, and I'm like, what the heck is this? They're censoring the game. The characters look absolutely ugly. The textures are no longer. The game looks like crap compared to previous versions of it. I think I think it was like spiders were in the other ones. Oh, we're taking that out. We don't want people who, are afraid of spiders to be freaked out by spiders. Like, how stupid is that? And then you have a bunch of characters in the game who don't even make sense. For example, you have a black elf in the game, but it doesn't even look like what you would imagine a black elf would look like. They don't even try to give the elf like any unique features or maybe dreadlocks that are white or something specific to that game so that it has more of a fantasy-based look to explain this. No, they look like an African American with kinky hair. And I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just pointing out that it's 100% obvious that they're just doing this to say, oh, this is wonderful. It's diverse. Look at this. Bro, it's a fantasy game. Even in these fantasy games, the elves in the games typically don't look exactly like white people. Okay? They usually have specific features that are commonplace among elves. The shapes of their faces, the actors that they choose to portray these people usually have specific features, or they wear masks and fittings and ears and so forth to give them a specific look, right down to the hair. Oh no, we need Chinese elves. We need black elves. They don't need any specific features that make them look like fantasy-based characters. No, we want them to look like African Americans and Latino Americans and all these other various groups. This makes no sense. They are stripping away the very reasons why we actually enjoy playing games. They are stripping away the things that make games interesting. They are stripping away the fantasy aspect of games, and then they're doing it all in the name of diversity, equity, and inclusion. It is so sick. It is perverse. And I'm telling you guys, that's why so many gamers are choosing to boycott and take their money away. And then, of course, they act like they're victims. Sweet Baby Inc. has scrubbed their website of most of their partners. So usually you can go on their website and see what companies they are partnering with. They have scrubbed their website clean. They just fired one of their lead instigators, and they're going into lockdown mode. The gaming industry is heading towards a massive crash because a lot of the titles that are coming out right now are a combination of cash grabs and woke BS. And gamers are having none of it. Many gamers are now saying we're going back to older games and we're happy with that. This whole you will own nothing and be happy. Oh, guess what Nintendo is allegedly doing? The next Nintendo Switch, so the Switch 2, presumably may not even allow you to physically own your games anymore. Even if you own physical games, you're going to say, well, Angry, that doesn't make sense. Well, I'll explain the reason why it does. They are basically doing this now. This is exactly what Xbox tried to do with the Xbox One, and then there were tons of backlash. So if you want to go back in time, when the Xbox One was first announced, there were some things that pissed off gamers. One, every Xbox One would come with a Kinect unit, and it was not optional. So you had to have Kinect in the box. Now that it was not the best of decisions, however, that is not what sunk the Xbox. In fact, it could have actually set it apart more than what Sony ultimately delivered, and it could have ushered in a new generation of innovative gaming because of the Kinect. No, the reason why Xbox One was hit so hard was because they said that they wanted to now lock every game that you purchase for the Xbox One to the player's account. And if they wanted to sell these games, they would have to be sold at approved retailers. And then the companies that made these games would then all get a cut of the resale value. This is crazy. We call this double taxation. So you buy a product, check this out. You buy a product and then you're told that you don't own it, all right? They restrict access to it. They can tell you where you're allowed to sell it. And when you do sell it, whomever it's sold, when you do sell it, the company that made it and Xbox themselves all get a cut from the resale. So you never truly own anything. In the case of Nintendo, what they are evidently trying to do is lock every cartridge, and it's very relevant to the greater entirety of everything around us. They're trying to lock every cartridge, so when you purchase a game for the Switch 2, it will be tied to your Nintendo Switch account, your Switch Online account, and you will never be able to resell that game. If you want to play the game, you have to activate it. If you want to play it on another console, you'd have to log into your Nintendo Switch account. So basically, it's a license on a disc, and then you can use it that way. So you don't physically own anything. Sure, you have the software on the disc, but you can't access the software without an internet connection. This is crazy. So you can never resell the game. It has no resale value. And to make matters even more interesting, Nintendo could technically ban you from playing the game if they choose to as well. So they can restrict your ability to play that game if they decide, like, well, you've been cheating or you've been involved in something. We're going to restrict your access, take away your ability to play the physical game that you purchased. Hence, you own nothing and you will be happy. And you can see Microsoft is heading towards the whole Game Pass thing where they don't want you to physically own your games. They want you to purchase Game Pass so they can be the Netflix of gaming, and then, keep on raising the price forever, so you'll be spending $700 or $1,000 a year to play games that you don't even own. And that's it. The end. Like, what kind of hellscape are we now living in and are heading to? But this affects more than just the gaming industry. Oh no, this can spread to every other industry and be a test run for it. I shall explain. So, check this out. Imagine that you go and you purchase a car. But the car and that's how many cars operate now, and it's been like this for a long time. The car is tied to the manufacturer and to an account provided by the manufacturer. So you want to use your vehicle just like, let's say, like a Tesla, and you sign into your account and now it's connected and you can use your vehicle. But guess what? You no longer have the ability to resell that vehicle. And you sign a contract saying that you will not resell the vehicle, you cannot resell the vehicle, and if you attempt to, the car just won't work. Because if you want to drive that car, it has to be it is tied to your online account, to your Tesla account, and that's it. So you can go and spend $70,000 for a new Cybertruck, but guess what? There is no resellable value in that. And they can basically, if there's any software issues, they can shut your vehicle off at any time and, suspend your account. And now you have just a hunk of junk sitting there. And these electric cars are already pose a very serious problem that guys like Elon Musk don't want to talk about. The battery on these vehicles are very expensive. To replace a battery costs something like $15,000 or $20,000. Over the next several years, you have to consider these vehicles that people are purchasing from Elon, they're no longer worth it, because if the battery costs $15,000 to $20,000, but the value of the vehicle has depreciated down to, let's say, $20,000, the car isn't worth anything anymore. What are you doing? And then it's not even like being able to replace the battery is a simple thing, like being able to replace a muffler or even an entire engine. With these electric vehicles, they're designed so differently that you would have to order the battery from the manufacturer and then also take the car to the manufacturer to have that battery typically replaced. You're just better off buying a new car. So they can basically say you don't own anything. They can shut your car off because it's tied to an account and it has now no resellable value. They can do this with basically any product that they want to. And the way they'll get you is using convenience. Oh, you purchased a fan. This fan is tied to a specific account. We'll give you the first crack rock for free. What that means is you can use all of the smart features of the fan. It can go up really high. It can make it really cool. Oh, look how amazing this fan is. It's so convenient. You can control it using your smartphone. But after the first year, you're going to need a subscription plan to use the fan or to fully use all of the features on the device. Check that out. So now they're like, it's okay. It's only going to be like, let's say, $19.99 for the first year, and then after that it's only $29.99. But think about all of the value that you're receiving. And we'll give you an account where if you purchase multiple fans, you can use all of these fans, up to 3 or 4 fans on the same account, and you're only spending $29.99 a year to use a fan. This is guys, they can do the same thing with your washing machines. They can do the same thing. I use Beats Studio headphones. I love the Beats Studio headphones. They are absolutely insane, great audio quality, incredible reproduction of sound, amazing noise cancellation. There's actually a link for the Beats Studio headphones linked in the description. You can go and check them out because they are 100% lit. I've been using them and I absolutely love them, but we're heading towards a world where they can just take it away. You have to sign up using the app if you want to actually use them, and you get a subscription. And it's fun, it's great using them at first, and after like I said, they give you the first crack rock for free. But then after the first year or the first couple of months, you have to keep on renewing that subscription. And that's basically it. If you don't, many of the features won't work, or they just won't work entirely. But you agree to these things when you signed up for it. Are there AI-based features that you come to rely on? And it will impact the sound quality, if you don't have that. For example, noise cancellation. That's something that's going to require a fee. Things that are standard today, they'll take these features away. That is the frightening reality we are now headed for. And guys, if you're actually interested in Beats Studio headphones, there's a link in the description. I have an affiliate link down there. You can go and check them out because I use these for my work. They are absolutely amazing. I use them for leisure. I use them to just, listen to music. I use them for recording. They are beyond amazing. They are so comfortable. There are different kinds of headphones. There are over-the-ear headphones, and then there are on-ear headphones. Beats Studio headphones are actually over-the-ear headphones. So they cover your ears. They have noise cancellation built in. The noise cancellation is sick. I totally love it. You also get this premium bag with it that you can put your headphones in. So that's something to consider. You can check them out using the affiliate link below. When you use the link, I also do make a little money from that. But yeah, guys, like I said, they can just take anything away from you, whatever they feel like it.
They think that they can sell us trash like this. Look at him. He's moonwalking around. This is so completely pathetic, and it is sad to see because I want video games to release. I want them to be amazing. I don't want to sit here and say I want video games to fail because I don't. I want the industry to thrive. I would love if every single game that released was amazing, but when they're feeding us this slop, it's just not going to turn out well for them. Of course, we don't get any fun experiences anymore. And even this game has everything wrong with it, from it its technical problems, like the, characters moonwalking around them, copy and pasting models over and over and over again, some of the puzzles not working the way that you would expect, things not activating properly, the, mobs shooting at you even though you're basically standing behind them. Then, of course, you have the awful writing. Keep in mind that Kim Belair, the Sweet Baby Inc. co-founder, is the lead writer on this game, and it definitely shines through because the main villain is a white man. You, of course, have Haruna, the lead character, going on about how she's an empowered woman. Like, it is an extreme cringe fest, and it's a very simplistic story that, in my opinion, does not need to exist. So this is just a title that is going to be forgotten in even a couple of weeks. Like, virtually nobody's playing it.
And what's really insane about this specific game is the fact that it's a AAA title. Like, I believe this was made by Bandai Namco, and they purchased an entire studio just to make this game. All right? And invested anywhere from tens of millions of dollars into making this game, and the game's absolute trash. I am so worried that games like Elden Ring may become a thing of the past, but you know what? I am beginning to feel a bit more confident. For example, there are games coming out from China right now. We know about Black Myth Wukong. Well, there's another game from a Chinese developer that starts with Wu, and it is absolutely breathtaking. So, on the heels and the success of Black Myth Wukong, there's a new game that has been announced called Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, and it came out at the 2024 Xbox Showcase. The game is absolutely beautiful in its construction. You guys are seeing what it looks like on the screen right there. And it actually stars a female character. Look how beautiful this woman is. So this is a game that is so total bad. You know what? I mean, my gosh, it's like a mixture of Dynasty Warriors meets Heaven's Blade. That was an older title. Meets Onimusha. I totally got Onimusha vibes when I saw this game in action. Ghost of Tsushima. Like now it's Ghost of Yotai with a chick that does not even look like a girl. No attractive characteristics or facial features. This is the basically Ghost of Yotai that we all wanted. This looks absolutely, it's incredible. And they have a lot of strong female characters prominent throughout the game. There is no bit of female empowerment anywhere. The characters look feminine. They're fit. They look feminine, friendly. Some of them look really frightening. Look at this. Very, very incredible designs. I mean, that character, she's voluptuous, but she's she's also quite tall. She reminds me of of that very tall vampire chick in one of the recent Resident Evil games. I mean, this is what guys are looking for. This is what people want. And this game is coming from China. It's another AAA title from a Chinese studio, just like they made Black Myth Wukong. You can see China is going hard. Look at this character design right here. Look at this beautiful bird-like character. Look at that face. Look at the hype, guys. And they are pumping out these games rapidly. It's not just China. It's also Southeast Asia. You have games like Stellar Blade, which are just absolutely beautiful. The character designs are inspired by models, by not even just models, but the typical Korean woman. So a lot of Korean women are absolutely gorgeous, very tall, very slender, beautiful faces. It's also the plastic surgery capital of the world. But regardless of that, these are the kinds of games that we're getting, and it's just phenomenal. So as the gaming industry in Western society begins to collapse and fall apart, we're seeing that East Asia is picking up the mantle and giving gamers what they want. They're giving gamers games that are beautiful, that star beautiful characters, beautiful women, beautiful men. If I'm playing a game, the guy in the game, and it stars a guy, it should be a beautiful man. He should have ripped muscles. He should be physically appealing. He should be the guy that I want to be when I grow up. And guys, if you're enjoying the content, check out the Angry Guy Clubhouse. Get top expat and Passport Bro travel tips, digital nomad guides, passive income strategies, and hard-hitting manosphere content. Free subscribers get access to videos, podcasts, articles, and community chat, plus receive the passive income blueprint and digital nomad blueprint just for subscribing. Paid subscribers unlock exclusive guides like the How to Build an Online Business in 24 Hours ebook, wealth building blueprints, and crypto updates. Join us now. Click the link in the description.
Even at launch, which is terrible for them. And I bet right now Bandai is panicking. They're also going through layoffs right now. They apparently, according to, reports, have games that have been canceled, and they have those employees sitting in empty rooms doing absolutely nothing during the workday, hoping that they will end up quitting. So Bandai, in theory, doesn't have to fire them, which is extremely scummy behavior if that is true. But right now it seems that they are panicking. They're canceling games. They've got titles like this that are releasing. But this is what happens when you release DEI slop and you're focused on hiring activists like these Sweet Baby Ink writers instead of competent writers who know what they're doing and know how to tell a half-decent story.
And I absolutely agree with exactly what Vara is saying. We are heading for a gaming crash right now. The gaming industry is definitely going to crash. It's happening as we're speaking. People are losing their jobs. It's not just happening in gaming, it's also happening in tech. There was a lot of hiring that happened during the events of 2020 because they believed that they were going to have all this endless amounts of money streaming in forever because people were trapped at home. So they were basically naturally spending all of their time on social media and playing games. But now that the world has opened up, at least started to reopen, that money is beginning to dissipate, and companies are doing what they do best, laying off people and then making excuses for doing it. The gaming industry is going to really, it's becoming a cesspool when it comes to DEI. And the crazy thing is that so many of these games have been in development for years that it's not that easy to just switch from a DEI environment. Many of the games that will be coming for years now will be DEI focused, and it's hard to get these people out of your business once you've put them in there, because in the gaming industry they're like, oh, if you don't include DEI, if you don't include diversity, equity, inclusion in your games, then you're like the most evil person in the universe and you need to be fired and condemned and have your life destroyed. You're immediately branded a racist, you're considered a bigot, and you could basically kiss your career goodbye because they're going to shame you. They're going to destroy. They're going to want to ruin you. Why? How dare you not want a black character to be present and center focus, and other characters of ethnic origin to be present at the center of focus in a game that takes place in medieval Europe? How dare you not want the main character of the game, a game centered in Japan, in ancient Japan, to be centered around a person in Africa, a person of African descent? And I'm referring to Assassin's Creed, the next one in the series, where they're going to be focusing the first Assassin's Creed to take place in Japan on a samurai that is of African descent, although we don't even know if he was a real samurai. He may very well have been, but it's like, guys, it's like setting a game in Africa and then focusing the entire game around a person who is not of African descent and saying that this represents the look and feel of Africa, in Asian Africa, like setting a game in Africa, in it like ancient Africa, like 2,000 years ago, but the character in the game is Caucasian, and they're like, this represents a true African, or better yet, or how about this one? The person is Asian, because there was like people traveling back and forth from Africa to Asia. There were mixtures, but let's say making an Asian person, a Japanese man, the centerpiece of the game about African people and African culture. It's insane, absolutely insane. But that's the system, that's the reality that we are now in, and it's because of we did not push back enough. But there's a lot of pushback happening now, and this is only going to result in more collapse within the industry, and eventually, I believe, greater competition. What do you guys think regarding all of this? Do you agree that Sweet Baby Inc. is killing the gaming industry? Let me know your thoughts and we'll talk about it in the comments. Definitely go and check out Varadark's channel. It's linked in the description. Let me know your thoughts and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.